Here's what I'm gonna do for Christie sides and the Indiana Fever, and I can't believe that I'm gonna do. I can't believe that I'm gonna do this shit for free, but here we are. So I'm gonna name it Fever Rotational Game Plan. I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna show everybody, all you. I mean, share this if you want to. Oh yeah, please, if you haven't subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this, more rants like these. Like the video, share it with especially with the Indiana Fever. That'd be great. But here we go. I'm gonna put this first cell. I'm gonna name it quarter. This one I'm gonna name it minute mark. This one I'm gonna name it center. Power forward, small forward, shooting guard, point guard. And I'm gonna give you the current net rating so this is all season. And this net rating for last 5 games. That way, we're not missing anything important. You know what I mean? That way we're good to go. So let's get this a little bit more here. Okay. So first quarter. At the 10-minute mark, we want Benley to start. We want Boston, of course. We want Hall. We want Mitchell. We want Clark. Net rating all season for this lineup is, drum roll. Net rating all season for this lineup is A plus 32.2. Last 5 games, 33.7. That way we know. First quarter, so let's have him play 5-minute mark. I think here so we can either go back Benley and maybe bring in Smith, but then I would leave Boston, Hall, Mitchell, and Clark. And then if we leave Fac Benley, we get 32.2. If we put in Smith, we get a negative 4.8. So this is not that terrible. Oh, and also, okay, well, I'll get there. I'll get there when I'll get there. And I'll do that. Last 5 games. So 33.7 if we leave Fac Benley. Minus 16 if we go with Smith. Okay, so first quarter. So here's the thing, right? Here's the other thing that here we're just gonna do Smith. And then we're gonna leave Boston, we're gonna leave Hall, and we're gonna leave Mitchell. But here's the thing, right? So for Caitlin Clark, what I would do if I'm Christie sides, I would just ask Caitlin Clark, hey, you're gonna take a break the first half no matter what. You're resting at least 3 minutes in the first half. So that's 20 minutes, you're gonna play 17 minutes in the first half. Do you rather rest the first quarter or do you rather rest the second quarter? I don't give a shit. You're resting the first half. I don't care what you have to say. I don't care you want to play the whole game. I don't care. Which one do you choose? And then I'll kind of go from there to build the entire lineup from Clark's preference. But right now, from what I'm observing, she tends to get gassed in the first quarter. So let's give her a break at the 3-minute mark. Let's take her out and let's put Wheeler. All right, so this lineup of Smith, Boston, Hall, Mitchell, Wheeler. For the whole season, they're a plus 15. Yeah, for the whole season, they're a plus 15.6. in 13 minutes, which isn't insignificant, right? That's a good amount of minutes to be playing with a teammate. But then let's look. Okay, so we don't need. That's what we have. And then the last 5 games. Last 5 games, they're plus 11.1 in 4 minutes. So it's not a lot. It's not a lot, but at least it's okay. I think it's doable. You can survive this, right? So now we go into the. Hey, so start this second quarter. I'm gonna start the second quarter with Smith, and I gotta rest. I gotta rest Boston, and I gotta rest Hall. So let's see. Here's where we bring Dantas into the mix. We'll get Smith. We'll get Samuelson. We'll get Wheeler, and we'll bring back Kalen Clark. Okay, so I don't think this team has played together much. Dantas Mitchell. So this lineup here has never played together. So zeros across the board. Now you say, damn, Samuelson and Smith should never be on the floor at the same time. First off, we're gonna limit it. This is not gonna be for too long. It's only gonna be for 3 minutes, and then we're gonna limit it to 3 minutes. So that shouldn't be too bad. And there are a bunch of lineups where this combination of Dante, Smith, Samuelson, Clark. Yeah, there are combinations where this is pretty good. So let's see. Or I'm sorry, no, there are actually combinations where the Smith, Samuelson, Wheeler, Clark, they have positive ratings, so there have been combinations. But instead of Dantas, it was Hall. But again, like I said, we're gonna limit this to 3 minutes. So in the second, we'll go to still staying in the second quarter, the 7-minute mark. We're gonna stay with Dantas, and then depending, we either stay with Smith or Boston, depending on how things are going and how much of a rest we want to give to Boston, and then this one, Samuelson or Hall, depending on how much of a break we want to give to her. Same thing here with Wheeler and Mitchell. And then here, we're going to go Clark. So here, I mean, Dante, Smith, Samuelson, Wheeler, Clark, if we leave that again, it's 0. If we go with Dantas, Boston, Hall, Mitchell, Clark, we already know that is crazy amounts of success with plus 34.7. And then 0. In the last 5 games, this team has actually been even better. 38.8, 38.9. And then I'm going to close. So second quarter, 5-minute mark. I got Dantas or Fact Bentley, but I'm going to be leaning Dantas right now only because that has been yielding the most. And I also think that Caitlin Clark has like her best games on the floor when you see her hitting threes. Actually, the 1 3 that she hit today was with Dantas on the floor. She was 1 of 10. And I know it was a step back that she created on her own, but it was with Dantas on the floor. And then you see a bunch of the screens. Dantas sets some of the best screens for Caitlin Clark because, again, the opponent is unable. She's a big body, so are unable to go over. They have to go under, and then you're in trouble, and you're giving all that space to Caitlin Clark. So Caitlin Clark has a lot more room to operate on the offensive side. So if you want to like inflate Caitlin Clark's numbers so that she gets MVP and she gets more points, she gets more assists, then you want Dantas on the floor. If you want more defense, the problem is you're going to pack the paint, and Caitlin Clark is no longer going to have that much freedom to operate because it's going to be clogged if you have Boston and Fact Bentley on the floor at the same time. That's why I prefer to have Dantas that can spread the floor and still set crazy screens, but everybody can just, You know, everything. The whole court is now wide open. So we'll do Dantas, Fact Benlon, depending on the situation. But I'm leaning Dantas, and then we'll go Boston, of course. Cole and Mitchell, Clark. And this lineup, as we said, is 34.7 plus 34.7. And in the last 5 games, 38.9. And this is it. So I don't have any lineups really, with the exception of this lineup that is lasting only 2 minutes. Only 2 minutes of this lineup that has a negative, which is the current starting lineup, right? So the current starting lineup would go in at the 5th minute mark of the first quarter for 2 minutes before some substitutions are made, and then you have a plus negative rating for the season type lineup on the floor. And then, of course, you want to end with your strongest. You want to end the second quarter with your strongest lineup, no matter what. Then we go into the third, and this is pretty much going to be similar to what we've already done. 10, Pac Benley, Boston, Cole, Mitchell, Clark. Actually, I can just, well, I won't copy paste it. I'll still do this exercise so that everybody can kind of track and see what I'm doing. So 32.2, 33.7. Third quarter again. At this 5 minute mark, we want Fact Benley or Smith. Again, you can kind of, if you want Fact Benley to get her reps, you can do that. Just the problem is you don't want to disrupt the flow of the game for any of these players. So there has to be some sort of rhythm and some sort of, method into this. Enough time where they can, okay, they're on the court, and I know I'm going to be on the court for this amount of time. That way, everyone knows. Everyone has to know what the game plan is, and don't react to what the other team's doing. Stick to your plan. Have them react to your plan, not the other way around. You have the personnel to make it work. It's not like you have a small lineup like the Golden State Warriors with their death lineup that went extremely small, and then you really had to depend like who you're playing against. If you're going this small, are you going to be able to get any rebounds? You don't have this situation here. You have the personnel. You're good. What are you trying to react to the other team for? It doesn't make any sense. You have the personnel. You have the weapons. Deploy them. So Boston, Cole, Mitchell, Clark. And then this is either, I'll copy paste this one because it's either this or that. And then third again. And this is for the 3 minute mark. And here we had Smith, Boston, Hall, because I'm going to have Boston and Hall play the entire first quarter. Boston, Hall, and Mitchell play the entire first quarter. And then I'm resting Clark. And then I'm bringing back Clark, right, in the third quarter. But I'm resting Mitchell for Wheeler. And I'm resting Hall for Samuelson. And I'm resting Boston for Dantas and Smith. And I just want Dantas so I could have her, first. But let's just have her play the most important. Have a full, the flow of the game. Have a full quarter. Okay, so you won't play the first, but you play the full second, and you already know that, and you're going to make your impact because 12 minutes is enough time to make an impact. If she does that, she'll play 24 minutes a game. That's pretty good for her, I think. I mean, not 24, I'm sorry, 20 minutes a game. It's not 12 minutes like the NBA. So you play 10 minutes, 20 minutes a game. That's perfect. Smith, again, you have to keep her under. So I think with this plan right now, she'll come in at maybe at the 5 minute mark. So 5 minutes and then 3 minutes. So that is 8 minutes. So she'll play 60 minutes. Perfect. As long as she plays less than 20 minutes a game, perfect. That's enough. She'll make her thing. She'll contribute. She'll get some playing time on the floor without Caitlin Clark. So she can, if you want to show off now, go show off, do whatever. Wait, no, not third. This is fourth, right? Fourth quarter. 10-minute mark. And this is what we have. Dante Smith, Samuelson, Wheeler, Clark. Which this wasn't. Oh, yeah. So this was 15.6, 11.1. We've never seen this before. This is just your APO special. So anytime you see this lineup on the floor, if we ever see it, this is the APO special. APO special. Don't forget that shit. Let them know too. 7. Dantas, Smith, or Boston. Depending on how soon you want to bring Boston in the fourth quarter. If things are like, this is not looking good, you want to bring Boston right away. If you have a little bit of a cushion, then you want to give her a little bit more rest, then you can do that as well. And same thing with these other players, right? This just allows you the flexibility to see what you need at any given time, but still within the constraints of this build. And then if we do that one, we have 0 because we've never seen it. Or like an amazing lineup. And then you close with the shit. 6 minutes on, you got your Dantas or Fact Bentley, but again, leading Dantas, Boston, Hole, Mitchell, Clark. And this is okay, so this 34.7, we combine it with the in case we go with Fact Bentley instead, then 32.2, and this one in case we go with Fact Bentley instead, 33.7. And then the same thing here. And there you go. This is it. So look, free. I'm working for, man, I can't believe I spent all this time to work for free to build a rotation and a game plan for the Indiana Fever. This is insanity at its best, is what this is. This is insanity at its best. And the problem is, okay, you will say, okay, X's and O's. Like, for instance, I know Awful Coaching does a good job with the X's and O's, but he doesn't really get into the lineup combinations. I think once you have your optimal rotations and lineup and your game plan, then that's when you bring in the X's and O's. But right now, if this were a house, you're trying to build the kitchen and the bathroom before you have a foundation. So you have to build the foundation and then apply X's and O's and then apply all the other elements of coaching, right? That's why you need different individuals with different strengths to bring these different things into the mix or onto the table. So anyways, this is it for my video. I just wanted to really display that anybody can build a freaking game plan and based on statistics, based on what you see on the floor, based on what your just basic knowledge of basketball, which seems to be lacking with this team. But here's what I'm gonna do also. So for the next video, what I'm going to do, I'm actually downloading NBA 2K5 as we speak. So I'm going to deploy this rotation and this lineup just to kind of have a creative visual depiction of what this looks like in real time through the video game. Now, I haven't played 2K in a while, so this is the first time that I'll be playing 2K since probably the 17 version. So it's been a while, but we'll get back in there and give this a try. But again, if you enjoyed this content, please remember to like your video, to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support that you've shown to this channel so far. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.